Did you ever think that what you saw was the right thing and led you to believe that it was something that it was not? I have chronic pain. I have rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed with lupus, but a lot of people in my family, my mom's side, my grandpa's sisters all have lupus, and my mom's sisters have lupus. So, not sure if I do have had the butterfly on my face, but my SLE, the test for lupus, comes out negative, but so does my rheumatoid arthritis. But I have every indication of it. And that can cause you to have chronic pain from fibromyalgia. I looked perfectly healthy. You cannot tell that I have pain. I hide it well. And when you have a lifetime of pain, you hide it well too. So what you see may not be what you get. And a lot of people, even my own family, had a hard time believing, they still do, have a hard time believing that I am as sick as I am. Even though I had a severe anemia caused by arteriovenous malformation, which is like an aneurysm, like mass that bled for well over 3 years. And for 2.5 years I had blood transfusion every other week. And my sister still refused to believe that I was sick because she thought she knew better. She could not believe that my hemoglobin was 5.1. And I had what is called pica, where I was wanting to eat or smell something weird. And that is, I wanted to smell gasoline-based junk. And that's how I know my anemia gets down. So I thought the reason my heart was fluttering and why my lips were blue and why I was cold and having these weird feelings was because I was sniffing a rag that had some shoe polish, wax, gasoline, petroleum-based shoe polish. And I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning being driven to smell it. It was just bizarre. That went on for 6 months, so I attributed the way I felt was from sniffing that wax. I begged God to take this addiction away from me, and I forced myself to not touch it for several weeks, and I still felt the same way. So I thought something's wrong, and my heart was fluttering, my fingernails were blue, and I was really sleepy all the time. And so my husband took me to the ER to Providence Hospital in Portland, and had a doctor, big, fat, butch doctor. Oh my gosh, she's a monster. Saw me, and I said, I think something's wrong. Can you do a basic chem screen and a CBC? And she says, I says, because I worked in the hospital as a phlebotomy med tech for 6 years. And so my mom's a nurse, my sisters are medically trained. So she said, don't self-diagnose. All that's wrong with you is you have an inner ear virus and a panic attack. You're having a panic attack. I said, no, I don't have panic attacks. But she was convinced I was having a panic attack. So she put some sedative in my IV, and that made me feel like I was dying. And she refused to draw my blood, refused to do the basics, and she discharged me from the hospital. The next day, I was driving my grandkids home, which was over an hour away, and I fell asleep driving my car over 4 lanes of highway. Thank God I didn't hit anything. I woke up when I hit the gravel. So my husband saw that I was really confused. He took me to a different doctor 3 days later. I couldn't even buckle my shoes. He did some blood tests. He looked at me, he says, you look healthy. I can't see anything wrong, but let's see what your blood says. So I drove home by myself. My husband had to go back to work. and I drove home, and it took me an hour to get home, 2 hours to get home, because I kept pulling over to take a nap. I was so sleepy, and I was falling asleep driving, even though I had the window open, and I kept slapping my face. And I just knew, look at that bird sitting there. Isn't he cute? He's quiet. But anyway, he's not flying away. He's cute. I think he's moving his head ever so often, but it could be my eyes. But anyway, I was just at the bottom of my hill taking a nap when my phone rang, and it was the doctor. The doctor wanted to know my location and said that I needed to pull over, not drive another inch. And I said, well, I'm almost home. He said, no, you're going to die. It's serious. Pull over, and we're sending an ambulance to pick you up. Anybody know what kind of bird this is? He's really cute. Anyway, long story short, I ended up going to the hospital, and I stayed there a week. They did everything they could. They transfused me, and immediately that want of eating that wax-based, petroleum-based shoe polish completely disappeared. I asked the doctor, what is that? He says, well, because your hemoglobin was so low, 5.1, he says, you could have died. And he filed a complaint against the ER doctor for not even trying to give me the basic medical help, and that by giving me the sedative, that almost killed me because my hemoglobin was so low that it gave me a reaction. So she has a strike on her medical license. That's what she gets for being a creep. But anyway, I spent 2.5 years needing blood transfusions, and I could only get up to a 7 on my hemoglobin with 2 units of blood. It was a nightmare. But anyway, because my family could only see that I looked healthy, they didn't believe that I was sick. And that broke my heart. One was even especially cruel. I don't know, she's a sicko. But anyway, there's one thing that our pastor said when dealing with others, to always be kind. That really struck me. And I thought of somebody that I had been unkind to that has a medical problem. She's having kidney failure. She's a young mother. And nobody believes her, and have been taunting her, including myself, for not believing her that she's really sick. But I think it's because she hasn't done anything about having her self taken care of. She needs dialysis. She finally has gotten a port, so she's going to be doing home dialysis. So I feel bad. I was unkind, and I've apologized to her that I was unkind. We need to be building people up, not hurting them. Because, like with myself, fibromyalgia, my Crohn's disease, I've had 2 bowel resections, my arteriovenous malformation aneurysm the size of a baseball was almost killed me. But you couldn't see that I was ill. Same way with fibromyalgia. You cannot see an autoimmune disease. You cannot see somebody's muscle pain. Fibromyalgia makes you feel like you've been run over by a truck, like you have a flu, fever 101, 102, 24/7, every day of your life. Your joints and your muscles ache, and then you suffer fatigue and all kinds of stuff. What's that saying? Looking through a dark glass clearly? Or I don't know what that is. But anyway, like this little bird that I saw and I watched on that post for days when we first moved here, and I thought, wow, that bird is there again. So I went to take a picture of it and discovered it's a resin, a plastic resin bird. So what I saw wasn't the truth. And that could be your case as well. What you see may not be the truth, may not be the right interpretation. It may not be reality, but it's your reality because of what you believe, what you see through your eyes from your own experience, your life experiences, the way you've been raised. So never discount someone's pain. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, and it breaks my heart that a lot of people are saying that Shanann Rzucek, the murdered victim in Colorado, was faking her having lupus because she didn't appear to be sick. You can't see lupus. Even in an autopsy, you cannot find lupus. It's an autoimmune disease. It's where your body attacks your organs. Sometimes lupus gets so bad it attacks your kidneys. So it attacks my skin. I haven't had any kidney problems, thank God, so far. But the rheumatoid arthritis has attacked my spine, and I have spondylolisthesis, myelitis. My legs are numb. I need a serious back surgery. But I have to get a series of injections before they'll do that because I look fine. And people see me decorating and doing things for others. I love being a giver. It's just my spirit, and I think that was Shanann's spirit, is to give and care about others, no matter how much your pain and how much you're suffering. I'm learning how to play the piano because that helps me be distracted from my pain. It helps me to deal with my pain. But what's sad is how cruel others can be because they cannot see. I forget her name. Maybe her name is Bree Walker. I'm not sure. I'll have to find the right name and give her a link. She was on Channel 39. She was a news anchor. Most precious, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. Well-spoken. Just awesome. And her hands were deformed. She had weird-looking deformed hands. And she was attending school when a lady sat on the bus next to her and said, "My, you're so beautiful. It's just too bad that you're deformed like that." She got to thinking, wow, would she rather I have an ugly face to match my hands? She was really hurt by that comment. And I think we hurt others by being dismissive and uncaring and say, well, you don't look sick, and then talk behind your back. People can feel it. Those of us that have autoimmune diseases, pain, and suffering usually come from a dysfunctional background. It's been said that a lot of women have fibromyalgia because they were molested as children. I've been told that by Dr. Bennett, who is supposedly the fibromyalgia god at OHSU years ago. But a lot of people try to dispel that. But I was sexually abused as a child. My father hated and despised me, and abused me my whole life. So that pain, that outwardly pain, the suffering, the hateful comments were internalized, and it's changed my body. It broke my body down. I can't help it. So, but when you see me, you see a healthy woman. Well, now that my back is bothering me, I'm crippled. Sometimes my legs are numb, and I can hardly walk. But then, first thing in the morning, I'm okay for first couple hours. And then through the day, I break down. So be kind. Rewind. Rewind your mind to the beginning. What leads you to believe that this person is lying? What leads you to think that you are right? Is it because you were taught as a child to disbelieve others and to discount their pain? Like that plastic bird or that resin bird that I saw, I thought it was real. Something told me it was real, but it was not. I was fooled because it looked real. When you see somebody driving a beautiful car, like when I was driving a brand new gold Rolls Royce that we kept for a week because my husband was trying to fix the radio system in it. It has 4 independent, what do you call those, suspension, and that messed up the radio. So the owner wanted to know what was going on, and he knew my husband was Motorola expert. So I drove the Rolls Royce to the shopping center, and somebody called me a rich bitch and made fun of me. They had no idea I was poor. Just an average poor person driving a, I don't know, $150,000, $200,000 car. I couldn't even afford the insurance on it. But they assumed that I was a rich bitch. And you see somebody carrying those $4,000 or $5,000 purses, and they're dressed up to the nines. You think they're rich, when the fact of the matter is they are so poor they can't even make their interest payments, and they are overspent, and I don't know, self-absorbed people do that kind of stuff, and that's sad. But anyway, be kind, rewind. God bless you.